Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. And tonight, of course, I think everybody knows, we're doing bunny chow. But I'll do a brief rundown of what bunny chow is. It's got an interesting history. And this is our African dish, by the way. I mean, technically it's South African. That's in Africa, I know. But I really wanted to do this dish. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to do it for stream. So, bunny chow is a street food. South African street food. It is sort of the every person's food. Everybody apparently in South Africa eats it. It's a classic. It's been around for a long time. The name comes from, well, nobody knows, right? All these things, nobody knows where the name comes from. The name likely comes from the term banya, which, if I'm correct, is what the South African people called the Gujarat Indians who lived in Durban. This is their street food. This is what they made. And one of the unique things about, and you'll see as we make that, is bunny chow is served in a hollowed out loaf of bread. We're going to split this guy in half and dig it out. There's no cutlery involved. It's portable. You can take it with you, and which makes it a fantastic street food, right? But one of the interesting things, and one of the kind of sad things about that is, one of the reasons that came about is because if you were black, you couldn't go into a restaurant and stay there. You had to order takeout and take it with you. So, interesting bit of history. But I do like the concept of this as being a food for everybody. And I love the concept of no cutlery. I think this would make, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about the recipe. So basically bunny chow is a curry served in bread. I'm gonna flip to, yeah, I'm gonna flip. That's the basic concept, okay? So you could put any curry in here, and it's the method. As always, we're like focused sort of on technique, so I can put this away actually. And I wanted to make this a fast weeknight meal. Sort of, I feel like that's true to its roots. And I did a ton of research on this because I've never heard this before. This didn't come out of the Blue Book or anything. I just went down a rabbit hole one night. And originally I was going to do, there's so many different versions of this. So originally I was going to do 2 dishes because I found a bunch of dishes that I really liked and a bunch of techniques. There was 2 that really stood out. And I ended up kind of, I thought, you know what? And I got this idea from one of the videos I watched and one of the techniques from this guy. It's a wonderful video. I found this guy who, Mike's a little hot. He's a YouTuber. I don't know, he's got like a couple hundred subscribers, and he streams out of his backyard in South Africa. And yes, down the rabbit hole. That was unintentional. But he was so just so into sharing his family's bunny chow recipe. Now, you can make different kinds of curries. His was a chicken one, which suits this for tonight because a chicken curry goes together relatively quickly. So if you can do this with lamb. It's quite often done with lamb. You can do it with any meat you want. If you do it with lamb, it's going to be on the stove for an hour and a half, which I don't have time for tonight. The other thing is, well, I'm all over the place tonight. You're just going to have to forgive me. I'm so into this recipe, and I've learned so much about it. But one of the techniques that I didn't see mentioned that would make it perfect for weeknight cooking is you could do lamb or beef or whatever curries in an Instant Pot or a pressure cooker. Either one. Well, Instant Pot is a pressure cooker with a digital clock in the front. But you could do either, like, you could do all of these recipes in a very short period of time with an Instant Pot, which I think makes it even more suitable. And I know Nick has an Instant Pot because he's got our old Instant Pot. So tonight is about technique, and I'm going to show you a couple of things. But also, this is the kind of recipe where you can make it, like, create your own home version. Like, take all the spices you like. I have mixed and matched from all the research I did and picked the ingredients that I like to make my own version. I hope it's good. Of bunny chow, and I will modify it as I go forward. But for me, I don't mind doing the dishes, but I'm thrilled about a dish that you can just like pick up off the plate and eat, and you're done. So having said all that, let me try and figure out the order of things we're going to do here, because I'm going to show you guys the basic Indian curry, how to do that. Again, that's a technique thing. The ingredients aren't as important as the technique. And an Indian curry starts one of two ways. Well, it always starts. There's an extra step. If you're using whole spices, which we are, they get toasted in oil first. And then your ground spices get toasted in a second thing. And that makes a spice oil mixture called a tarka. We're actually going to use ghee tonight because I had this. But you could use olive oil, you could use vegetable oil, whatever you want. You could use butter, which is ghee, without the solids. No, ghee is butter without the solids. You know what I mean. Anyway, I'm using ghee because I got it. If you don't have it, just use a neutral oil. But so the dude in South Africa very nicely listed his ingredients, and a lot of them I had never heard before, which led me to discover a technique that I knew about the technique, but it's called, so he called for 3 spices: jeera powder, soomf powder, SOOMPH, and dhania powder. And I was like, I didn't know those. I didn't know what those were. I had to Google. And I did. And the interesting thing is, soomf powder is toasted ground fennel. And dhania powder is toasted ground coriander. And what else did I say? Jeera powder is toasted ground cumin. So that's not the same as just like a straight up, oh, I don't have it anymore. Not the same as a ground cumin. There's an extra step to toast it first, which I have never done before. I mean, obviously I toast these spices when I use them. But to bring it back to the, yeah, I know, no kidding, eh? To bring it back to, I mean, that was the thing that scared me about, so, about COVID-19. It's just the name looked like a Jira ticket. Obviously, I would toast these spices if I was going to use them in a recipe first. But to bring this back to like a weeknight thing is, and guys can take notes, but if you take these dried spices, and I'm going to grind them up, you can add curry powder, turmeric powder. We're going to add a little bit of garam masala in here. You will have a spice mix that you can put away. And when you want to make this in a weeknight, you can just grab a handful of that spice mix, throw it in oil, throw your ingredients on top, and you have an instant curry. So I'm really excited about that too. I'm just generally excited tonight, actually. My shoulder's feeling much, yeah, it is a shoulder. Sorry, the camera's weird. My shoulder's feeling much better, and I'm very happy about that. It turns out chronic pain is not that much fun. Okay, so I don't even know where to start. I feel like we should start with, I don't know, I got the cutting board out. Let's go through some of the ingredients here. Some of the other ingredients. Maybe I'll prep the, no, you know what? We're gonna do the spices first. We're gonna toast the spices first. I wanna get that out of the way. Grab Old Faithful here, the non-screamy one. By the way, this is totally apropos of nothing. I had considered getting an induction burner for stream because there's no flame. They have all kinds of advantages. I already have these, so I don't want to spend extra money. But we were at IKEA, and IKEA sells a 2,000 watt induction burner for $75, and if it's any good, that's a steal. I think I'm gonna buy one, and we'll do it as the cool thing because I'm just itching to try it out. Because we need more kitchen gadgets in this house, so we're like running out. Okay, so it is interfering with the sound. Yeah, there is a mic right above the burner. Is that bad? Okay, well, how's that? Well, you can think about this as sort of the ASMR portion of the thing. Is it really annoying? Okay, great. So we're just going to toast these. These are the dried spices. And I told you guys what this is: coriander, fennel, and cumin. Just dump it in. And we've toasted spices a million times on this stream. You guys know how this goes. We toast this till we see the little puff of smoke. And it's the gas. That's so interesting. I mean, the mic, you guys can't see it. But actually, can you see it? No, you can't. The mic is like, it's like right there. Okay, well, maybe I'll look for an alternate mic placement. That's kind of, I mean, it's kind of interesting too, isn't it? I don't know, is it? Anyway. Let's get this going. I'm gonna turn it up. I need to, like, I do need these to toast. While we're doing this, what do I want to talk about right now? I was feeling lucky the last couple of days, and just feeling lucky because I can't remember what came up. Saw something on Facebook or whatever, but I feel really privileged and fortunate, and I'm grateful that I can do this kind of thing. I'm grateful I can do this kind of thing for you guys. I'm grateful I have the resources and the time and everything else to do this. So yeah, I was feeling good. Some amazing people in my life, and makes things like this extra fun. Okay, you guys didn't see it, but that was our puff of smoke. We're gonna go just a little bit longer. I want to see. I don't know. Can you guys see the little puff of smoke? I kind of want to put a good toast. There we go. Okay. So. This is going to go in here temporarily so I can get rid of the hot pan. And then we're going to, smells so good. Okay, we're going to tempt fate again because this is everybody's favorite. This is the Camera Wrecker Mortar and Pestle. And I'm just going to have to like grind this up. Wow. Smells so good. I was also thinking this would be a fun dish to make for kids, because you get to eat with your fingers and your hands and everything else. And this is also as close as I could get to when I was looking into. I keep grinding. When I was looking into the African dishes. They have a whole category, a whole cuisine based around what are called swallow foods, where you take the little bread and you just scoop up a morsel and you don't chew it, you just like swallow it down. I'm not totally sold on that. Obviously I've never tried it, and I shouldn't pass judgment without trying it, so I guess I won't. However, this is close, because you can rip off the bread and eat it. You are supposed to chew though. I mean, the whole concept, swallow foods is an interesting concept. I just picture a whole bunch of people getting together for dinner who are all really good at the Heimlich maneuver. Okay. I think that's ground enough. That actually went pretty well. I'm going to put this spice mix back in here. So this is now going to be our ground spice mix. And we are going to add 2 tablespoons of curry powder. That can go away. And tablespoon of turmeric. Any questions, guys? I feel like I'm just kind of going through this, but it needs to be done. And I'm going to use a tablespoon of garam masala. Now, you can buy garam masala in the store, but I highly recommend go online, find a recipe that uses fresh spices, and make up your own, which is what I've done here. Nothing wrong with the store-bought stuff. It's just not as good as the stuff you can make on your own. Well, there you go. Okay. And this now, you know what, actually I'll salt as I go. So, what this base here, what we have right here, and you could you could make up a huge batch of this, okay? And if you want a quick curry one night and you want to make bunny chow for yourself, you can get a loaf of bread. You can heat up some ghee or some oil, throw this in, throw in a protein, throw in a veg, a little bit of liquid, and just cook it till it's done. Pour it in your bread and you're done. So that's it. Now, I want to talk about some of the other ingredients I'm going to use tonight, though. Garlic, of course. Okay, so this is our... am I actually ready? No, I got some more prep to do. Let's talk about the ingredients first. It's more fun. So these are our whole spices. And these are going to get fried up first. Now you can take these out. I'm not going to bother because I'm eating with my hands anyway. Just don't eat these parts. So I've got a piece of cinnamon here. I got a couple of star anise. I got some cardamom pods. Use green if you can. I only had black. Probably doesn't make that much of a difference. These little tiny guys in here are mustard seeds. And my own experiment tonight, these are long pepper. This is a gift from my partner, Rebecca. And it is related kind of to the peppercorn. It's got more heat and it's got a little bit of, I don't know. I haven't actually tasted these. I'm going to try them out tonight. It's supposed to be like part peppercorn, part Szechuan peppercorn. They smell, like they just smell incredible. So we're going to use those. And then for heat later on, I'm also going to throw in, these are Kashmiri chilies. I'm going to throw in and toast these as well towards the end. And I'm going to put in some fresh chilies too. I don't think this is going to be super spicy, but if you do want to ramp up the spice, so this is traditionally a very spicy dish. But the reason it's very, very normally spicy is basically to cover up the taste of food that has gone off. Maybe if your veggies or meat isn't like super fresh. So I would spice this to taste because we don't have that disadvantage of using food that might be 100% fresh. Thankfully we have that. Okay, any questions before I continue with my prep and talking? We're going to use, here's the rest of the stuff. Let me get that. So we got, put it on this side. There. I'm going to use fresh tomatoes tonight. You could also sub in tomato paste for this, but they had these on sale at Freshco and they looked pretty good. So I'm going to use these. And again, this is hey Carolyn. This is, I'm going to say, a rustic dish. Okay, so for these tomatoes, and also since I know we're going to be eating this with our hands eventually, I'm just going to like cut these up into like chunks, right? They will break down a little bit in the sauce. We'll see. I'm kind of winging quantities and everything else here. So also sometimes when I'm cooking with tomatoes, I'll de-juice them, like take the seeds and the juice out. I don't really care here because I want liquid for the dish anyway. I am enjoying the cleaver. I wanted to sort of tell a cautionary tale though about the cleaver, and also just I think no, I'm going to do it. I've really been enjoying this. However, you need to be mindful in the kitchen because my other chef's knife, I was going to say I know it like the back of my hand, but it's really comfortable in my hand. I have, he's judging my tomatoes. I mean, these are hothouse tomatoes. They're not like, whatever. Anyway, about the cleaver. My chef's knife is like an extension of I don't even think about it, right? Use it all the time. I learned that I do need to think about this. I started treating this like my chef's knife. And you can't see it here, But I was cutting quickly the other night. I was making something, and thankfully it just went through the nail. But I shaved off the tip of my nail right down to the flesh underneath. And if that had been my finger, yikes. So be mindful in the kitchen. Go slow. There's no rush, right? You're not in Hell's Kitchen. Nobody's judging you. You don't need to rush, and you should enjoy your cooking, right? Like it should be fun. So yeah, I'm kind of going slow and being extra cautious with the knife tonight, or cleaver, or whatever. And again, one of the huge advantages and one of the things, honestly, Paul, I really don't, because it's almost always in my hand, and you can do this with it, which is just, I'm just loving this. You guys know from past streams, I'll normally have like a bench scraper or something. Not this time. Okay, so potatoes. So because I want to do this relatively quickly tonight, we are going to cut the potatoes pretty small. And I need them to cook, right? So if you were doing like the lamb version of this, you could cut the potatoes thicker. But I really need these guys just to cook. And I think one potato actually might be enough. Let's see. I just need these to cook. And I'm just going to throw them right in with my tomatoes, because the tomatoes are going to reduce to nothing anyway. They'll all go in at the same time. Stack these guys up. Like, yeah. I'm kind of eyeballing it, but this is the kind of piece of potato that I know is going to cook up in just like 10 or 15 minutes, right? And don't worry about cutting it too small, because if the pieces, if they break up and dissolve and disintegrate into the curry, that's totally fine. It's basically just your thickener, right? And I feel like one potato is probably going to be enough. What do you guys think? I feel like I'm getting close to the limits of my pot. I want a little more potato, but not a ton. Let's just do this. As always, I start cooking for like 2, and I'm going to make enough for an army. I'm really trying to get better, because I don't want to waste food. And we've talked about this before too, is leftovers are okay. Curry is one of the few things that actually reheats pretty well. But for me, leftovers kind of suck, because every time I serve leftovers, there's one less opportunity I get to cook. So, okay. I feel like this is a good base. We need to do an onion, which is not going in at the same time. Where'd my onion go? That's right here. This is a sweet onion, by the way. I wouldn't use a yellow onion here. Sweet onion would be good. Vidalia would be non-traditional, but also really good. And instead of, again, instead of chopping this into really, really tiny bits, we are going to just chop it into chunks, because I want large-ish pieces. Yeah, I want to do orange. So, just going to do that. The onions are going to be separate, though. They go in at a different time. And again, I want them big enough to, like, grab a piece of onion. Okay. Any questions? I think we're kind of ready to start cooking this up. Make sure these are going to break up. I don't see any questions. All right, you guys are, well, you're not that quiet, actually. Oh, the garlic. We gotta do garlic. And again, garlic, I'm probably just gonna like smash it. I don't mind if I have large pieces. It'll cook down. Run the cleaver through it. Oops, not you. And again, the other nice thing about the cleaver is that that double rocking, which gives you that extra cut. So with a chef's knife, I don't know, we've talked about this before, but I think it's cool. With the chef's knife, when you cut, it's just like one chop, 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 chop. The cleaver, it bounces. So you get, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but, oh, hang on. I'm trying to exaggerate it, but you can just like blitz through something like this. With a double, for every motion down, you get 2 chops. It's efficient. What can I say? I'm kind of like, I tend to min-max things even when I shouldn't, and I try not to in my cooking because it can take some of the fun out of it. I'm going to put you in there. Okay. So these are also our... yeah, I like that. Eh? These are also going to be for heat tonight. I'm not going to chop these up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a slit, kind of like maybe on both sides here. This kind of makes them into like spicy tea bags, so they'll release some of their heat. These are just, I don't know, generic grocery store green chilies. You could use jalapenos here if you wanted a little more heat. These aren't super spicy. I have no idea when I'm going to put those in, so I'm just going to put them over here for now. Coriander. Don't remember why I had coriander. Maybe as a garnish. Okay. Let's get rid of this. I don't think we need the cutting board anymore. We can start cooking. Do a little cleanup. Okay. Oh, you know what we should do? No, you know what? We'll prep the bread when the curry's simmering. I'm going to literally put it on the back burner back here. Should get that guy going. And hopefully this isn't too loud. So you guys give me a sound check, guys. Tell me where we're at here. Sound okay? Okay, good. Okay, so this is not a low-fat dish. Whatever oil you use, you want a pretty solid chunk of it. That's going to be good, actually. Don't be shy. We don't need this anymore. Any questions while the oil heats up? Oh, we didn't cut up the chicken. That's annoying. Wait, okay, hang on. We're gonna just, while this heats up, let's just cut up the chicken real quick. Okay, so I'm using chicken breast for this. If you weren't doing this on stream, I would lean towards chicken thighs because they just take the cooking a little bit better. But I want this dish to cook fairly quickly. This goes back to our weeknight thing. So I'm going to use chicken breast, and we're just going to sort of keep an eye on the cooking time and make sure they don't get too tough. Again, we want some pretty good sized pieces here. I feel like that's pretty good. You want this to be like a hearty curry, right? I was going to show you. So one of the thoughts I had about this big cleaver is like, how the hell am I going to take apart a chicken with it? And you know what? It was a snap. No problems at all. I almost bought a whole chicken to show you guys that. But they didn't have any at my regular butcher, and the ones at Loblaw suck. So we're using just chicken breasts. Okay. Now this can go away. See? Back on track. Okay. Okay, so our whole spices. Give these a little mix. And we only have to toast these just a couple minutes. That's what we're at 7:30. Hey, we're rocking through this. I thought this was gonna take longer. While we're doing this, I tried the. I don't know if you guys knew this. I didn't know this, but the original Colonel Sanders recipe leaked a couple of years ago, actually. Now it's not the recipe they use now. It's the original. It's like right out of the wife's notebook or something, and one of the offspring showed it in an interview, and they got a picture of it. So I thought, oh hell, I'll try it, right? Like, I love fried chicken, and I'm always curious about commercial recipes and whatnot. So I made up a big batch of it, and the first thing I noticed was it's an insane amount of seasoning. In 2 cups of flour, there's nearly a cup of dried spices. Anyway, made it all up, and you know what? My regular old buttermilk chicken recipe is just way better. So I thought it was gonna make a cool idea for stream, and I was all ready to bring it to you guys, and it just wasn't good. Which is unfortunate. I was kind of like, that'd be cool. No, Paul, that was my home brand, house brand. Actually, Paul, that was just regular like weeknight fried chicken, like not even the buttermilk one. I'll make the buttermilk one for you. Okay, so I'm gonna toss in my Kashmiri chilies here as well. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stick with mine. I thought it would be a cool experiment. Let me go heat up a bit. Probably should have saved that story until the whatchamacallit. Everything was cooking, simmering. Where am I? Like a little food tools? Yeah, okay. There it goes. Okay, there we go. So that smells amazing. And now we go for our ground spice dump. And this starts us well on our way to what's called a tarka. So this is the mixture of, and it'll form like a paste. Serena's gonna be able to smell it upstairs in just a second. It's just incredible. It's a fantastic color. Look at this. I wish you guys could smell this. So we're gonna let this go till 7:36. It doesn't take that long to do this part. It's a very similar process, Rebecca. You're exactly right. Chili oil is basically is like a tarka, right? It's spices. I guess the definition would be spices fried in oil. Forget how hot these burners are, man. Gonna go a little bit long. What did I say? 7:36. One of the tricks, so I'm not doing it tonight, but one of the tricks you can do with curries that have potato in them that are going to simmer for a long time is if you grate, I don't know, grate like half a potato on a box grater, like on the smallest setting, and get like potato shreds and throw them in with your onions, maybe just after the onions. they'll break down into a starch and they become a really excellent thickener for your curry. Okay, so now it's onion time. So I'm just gonna do the onions for like 2 or 3 minutes maybe. So if you're interested in making this, and you should be, there's a million recipes online for this. Well, there's actually not a million. There's a lot of recipes online for this. So the best thing to do when you're researching online, don't stick to one recipe. You guys know all the techniques. You guys all know how to cook. Use what you know, use those techniques, and then go cherry pick the recipes for the stuff that you like, and make something that you like. This is not a technique that you can screw up. The quantities, it's like the Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the ingredients are made up and the quantities don't matter. This is the Whose Line Is It Anyway of cooking. You really can't go too far wrong with this one. Okay, I want a little more color on the onions here. Oh, get back in there. Ooh. What do you guys think? It smells amazing. I kind of want it like a little bit, well, maybe another minute here. Again, I have the heat up relatively high here. You don't need to do it quite so high. I'm just trying to shorten the cooking time a little bit. I can see my onions are now starting to go soft. This would be a good time to add a little salt. This is a very, so salt here, this is a very heavily spiced dish. Salt will still do a trick and enhance the flavor, but it's going to be more of an enhancing thing than, okay. So my onions are now nice and soft. I like the size of them. Let's get, oh, my garlic. Get the garlic in. Again, until it's fragrant, which is like a split second. Wow, garlic came up fast. Probably should have done this in the wok. I may run out of room here, guys. This is supposed to be for 2. Oh well. Okay. Oh yeah. I got a problem. Serena, can you bring me the wok? Please, and thank you. So this will probably cook down. I'll do it in this pan. But I don't want to be spraying stuff everywhere. Hopefully Serena heard me. Otherwise, we will just do it this way. I mean, as I said, I might be able to get away with like this will cook down, the tomatoes are gonna break down. But I don't want to make my life hard either. Okay, let's just give that a second to do its thing. Thank you very much. Walk and roll. Here we go, guys. Okay, so I got a bit of a fond on the bottom here. There's some yummy bits, which I don't want to give up on, so let's just take those off. There we go. Okay. Oh my God, Paul, I'm so I'm laughing at Paul's thing there. Okay. So I want to before I add the stock, I'm going to use Campbell's. I always use either no salt or 30% reduced salt stock. Honestly, guys, this is so heavily spiced you could just use water here to get your consistency. But I'm gonna let the tomatoes break down just a little bit. It smells really good. I might actually just be able to put this off to the side. I don't know if you guys can hear it coming up. All right, time for the chicken. And as I said, I want this to cook relatively quickly, so I've used chicken breast here. But if you're doing this at home, I would use chicken thighs, like boneless, skinless chicken thighs, or even bone in, just chop them up. Simply because they will stand up to a longer cooking time better. They also taste a little better. Ow, hot. Okay, questions, guys. We're gonna have a couple minutes, and we're going to talk about what we want to do for future streams when I finally get this thing simmering, because we're going to have time to do that. I did try and like prepare this in a way that cut down on the simmering time as much as possible, but it's not going to be like... It's not going to be totally possible to eliminate all of it. All right. Just, it smells incredible. Really happy. And our potatoes in this dish are going to be kind of our barometer for when it's done. Now you do want this to be careful with your liquid. I'm going to go pretty conservative. You do want this to be a pretty thick curry. I'm just going to ramp the heat up, get this boiling. Put it off to one side. I guess I'll put it off to the side that everybody can see. Pretty happy with the color of this curry. It looks to me like a curry should. Oh yeah, I do, Paul. I still watch Yan YouTube videos. He's still around. In fact, I watched Yan take apart a chicken with a Chinese cleaver in like 11 seconds or something totally ridiculous. Like, it just flew apart. I think he's a great person. He's been around a long time. He's a fantastic chef. And he just seems like a genuinely good person. He's kind of like the Bob Ross of cooking. Or chefs. Celebrity cooking? Whatever you want to call it. So the nice thing about Indian curries, and one of the reasons they work so well in the Instant Pot, is like, unlike a stew, which really benefits from a long simmer cooking time to let all those flavors come out and blend, these curries are so heavily spiced, they don't need that. The cooking time is essentially just there to get all your ingredients fully cooked. So if you were doing this with lamb, you don't simmer it for an hour and a half, probably almost 2 hours, to create and build a lot of flavor, although that will help. You're really doing it just to tenderize the lamb. But you can do that in an Instant Pot, and it's one of the few things that Instant Pots are really, really good for. One of the two things they're really, really good for, and that's making stock and Indian food. Okay, so I'm gonna put this, oh, something like, can I do it over here? You guys can kind of see the edge of that, right? I'm gonna prep the bread. And I'm gonna have this like on a speed simmer, so don't have your cauldron up too high, you know? You don't need to. I need to, but you don't. Okay. I can just tell that needs a little more salt. Any questions? All right, let's prep our bread. And what time is it? 7:46. So we're actually going to let that go to almost 8 o'clock probably, guys. So if you have ideas for future streams, if you have any comments, if you have anything you want to know, now is the time. And I gotta do some dishes here. Give me a sec, guys. I just realized I gotta cut bread on this cutting board. Just cover the chicken. All right. Just to be safe, we'll put the chicken side down. Okay, I get to use something I never thought I would ever use. So I've got, and again, so this is the kind of loaf you want. I was gonna make a loaf, like a square loaf in my Pullman pan, but I don't know, little bakery near us had these and they look cute, eh? So I'm basically just gonna cut this guy in half. Didn't bring down plates, that would have been smart. Okay, so yeah, just cut this guy in half. And we're gonna hollow them out. Now, I know Paul's gonna recognize this. Maybe he doesn't. My mom got us these knives for Christmas. Each of us got it in our stocking. It's a knife. I don't actually know what it's for. It's like a long serrated paring knife. Don't know. However, it's going to be perfect for hollowing out the bread. So this is now my bunny knife. So we just want to go down through the bread. And you want to leave, you want to leave a decent chunk around the outside because you're going to use that to like eat up your meal as well. Dig this out. There we go. And you just save everything off the side. Good bread too. Okay, that's one. Okay, this is a little higher. I want this to reduce a bit more. Okay. Well, I don't know what to call it. I'm trying to judge how far down I'm going to go. Anyway, I now have a bunny knife, and I'm pretty happy about that. Because I have a feeling I'm going to be making this more than once. I love this whole concept. So, whoa, look at that! Just scoop that guy right out of there. Okay. And I have one. Perfect. We're going to be extra rustic and just serve these guys on sheet pans. Look at that. How much more rustic can you get? Right? Does that look good? Yeah, I was thinking that. Thanks for the bunny knife. Although, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if that's something my mother would know. Not that this is a bunny knife, but what bunny chow is. Okay, actually, don't need this stuff out. All right, any questions, guys? It's time for the cocktail of the night, which is going to be, it was supposed to be Crown on the Rocks, but my rocks melted because I didn't get around to it in time. I forgot to do this. Anyway. I'm hoping this isn't super spicy. We're going to find out when we do the taste test, right? Okay, let's talk about future streams, guys. I still have a pretty healthy list of ideas, especially now that we're down to every 2 weeks. But if you guys have any requests, did the bunny chow like spark something in you? What's the Marie Kondo thing? Does it spark joy? Any other joyous ideas? I really want to cook this down a bit. I have about the right amount of liquid, but I kind of want to cook it down. It does look good, doesn't it? I want to boil off, like, I want to reduce some of the liquid. It's a little, well, actually that's not true. It's about right. It's a little runny. But it'll also soak into the bread, right? Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting back to Korean, Rebecca. I can put that on the list. Just remind me after stream. I love Korean cooking, and I mean we've done Korean fusion on stream, and 3 apps in 30 minutes. I can do that. So here's another. Okay, while we're on the subject of 3 apps in 30 minutes, or I'm going to go off on a tangent. I like Sunday dinner. Roast beef, Yorkshire pudding, and veg. And I can do a roast, well, I can't do it for like more than 4 people, but I could show you guys how to do a roast Sunday dinner with mashed potatoes, Yorkshire pudding, 2 veg, and gravy in about an hour. It's not that complicated. And it's I mean, that's a classic sort of WASP meal, I guess. But certainly something I grew up eating, and it's nice. It's traditional, right? Get back to your roots. Okay. I have not forgotten Ethiopian. Wow, we're really okay. I'm gonna go right till 8, guys. I'm gonna go right till 8. We gotta hang in for 6 minutes. I haven't forgotten about Ethiopian, Paul, but I was talking earlier, like, again, a lot of those fall into, like, the swallow foods category, and I think, honestly, for that, I might want to do a little bit of research and a couple of tests before. I don't understand it, to be honest, and obviously it's a thing, because millions of people eat it. Okay, somebody's going to have to tell me what that is, but that sounds really good. Okay, I'm gonna serve Serena after, I think. Oh no, she can come down and get one. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the challenge for stream, right? Is I have to, it has to come in under, it's not that it has to come in under an hour. It's just, it can't have like super long, I can't do a roast or like a braise or a chili that takes 4 hours. I do though, guys, I want to show you guys how to make my chili. That's one thing I might go back to TV timing for, because the chili I made was just absolutely incredible. Okay, we're almost there. It has reduced a fair bit. Got my ladle. I think Serena's idea is pretty good. You know what just occurred to me about the mic? Never mind. I think I figured out what the mic issue was. I have a windsock for the mic. A little foamy thing that you always see on TV reporters have. And it fell off when I was setting up. And I didn't put it back on because there's not a lot of wind down here, right? But I have a feeling it might have cut the sound from the gas burner. Yeah, Rebecca, I went in for my, today's the 1st, isn't it? I went yesterday for my 1 day a month. Get that sweet, sweet collaboration. Okay, I'm really going to let this go another 3 minutes. I'm really happy with the way it's going. I suppose I should actually try one of the potatoes, see if it's actually cooked. No, you know what? I want to save it for the taste test. I don't want to like... Here, I'll poke it with a knife. It's done. Okay, great. So everything's cooked, which is a plus. I just want 3 more minutes for this to thicken up. Rebecca, I am not going to take the spices out before serving. I think that's part of the fun of the dish. And it's rustic. I'm not going to eat them. Like, you gotta, like, there's a star anise, star anise right here. But I just don't bite into that. It wouldn't taste good. Ah, wow! Serena's throwing shade at the chef. I mean, she's not wrong. Yeah, this will be ready at 8 o'clock. I'm just gonna let it go. We're just gonna let it do its thing, right? Not in a hurry. I'm really looking forward to this, though. Any other questions, suggestions, comments? We have 2 minutes, 1 minute, really. Yeah, this is thickening up beautifully. So what's happening here is the potatoes are starting to break down a bit. And they're thickening the sauce at the same time. Look at it, it's actually, I should show you guys. It's quite dramatic. It's actually literally happening right now. I can't believe I said literally. Anyway, but I don't know if you guys can see the texture change, but see how it's thickening up and becoming like lava? Although I hope it's not that spicy. Although lava probably isn't spicy, it's just hot. This is exactly what I want. This texture is coming together in the last minute, like right at the wire. In fact, I might even let it go to 8:01. Live dangerously. Really happy with this though, guys. It looks delicious. Hope it tastes good. Okay, it's 8. And we're gonna go one more minute. I don't know if you guys, well, you guys could rewind later, but see how far it's reduced. If you look at the side of the pan, quite a bit of liquid is evaporated. Okay. I don't really need a giant piece of cinnamon though. Oh my god, I thought that was falling. Okay. You know what? I think Rebecca's got a good idea. Okay, so I'm gonna I shut the heat off entirely. I mean, let's face it, I gotta eat this with my fingers, so it's too hot to do that. Let's just see what happens. And we're gonna let this sit a couple of minutes. And Rebecca was 100% correct. Look at that. It's setting up beautifully. Setting. Setting is not a term you should use for food. Okay. 8:03. I'm just gonna let it sit. I'm not gonna mess with it. It's very hard for me to do, guys. Already, I want to reach into that pot and start stirring it up. Oh yeah, I want to dig in right now. I have not decided on next week. I haven't decided on next week. I can do Korean. If there's a general consensus, if we want to go back and do something Korean, I would love to do that. There's a million Korean things I haven't made for stream. I have a whole list. But somebody throw out a category. Do we want to do like a... I know we did a street food thing this week. Don't touch. Do we want to do a Korean street food? Do we want to do more, or do we want to do a Korean, more of an elegant Korean dish? Like a more involved dish? Okay, so we're settled on Korean. Thanks to Paul. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I know. Let's just hope there's no fatality. One more minute. Oh my god, it's killing me, guys. I know it's the right thing to just let that sit for a second. Okay, Korean street food. That's next week. Maybe I'll pick a couple. Sometimes they're really easy to do. Okay, it's time. I'm going to give this one... Oh, look at that. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It was a great idea, Rebecca. Thank you. Just serve it up, I guess, eh? I'm really excited. Okay. Oh, the consistency is exactly what I wanted, guys. And kind of want to dribble it around a bit. Perfect. That's one. Serena, if you want to pop down for yours, you can do that now while you let it cool. Actually, I want a little bit more liquid. I want to drizzle that all over the place. Okay. We're going to put this back to go back there. Burner can go on the floor. So there you go, guys. I'm going to wait. Serena's coming down for hers. And I'm going to wait just a second before I stick my fingers in there. It's really hard to wait. Hey, Sarah. Okay. Okay, I don't know if it's the lag or so you didn't hear me, but I might just start eating. I should wait. It's so hot. Yeah, I think you're right, Paul. I'm gonna wait. Which one should I think this is the stream one. I'll put this one aside for Serena. Okay. We ready for this? So you want to take like a little bit of your bread here. Dip it in the curry. And grab a potato with it. Mmm. That's delicious. It is right there, huh? Really, really good. It's hot. And a little bit of chicken in here. Boop. Mmm. Mmm. It's not super spicy, which I was kind of expecting. I think if I was going to make this for me, I would crank the heat a little bit. It is incredibly flavorful. And I gotta say, it's really fun to eat. I don't know if you guys can see, but like, just get it, ow. Get in there with your bread. Ow. Maybe you'd probably wait a little bit, but get some of the hot stuff. And of course, as it soaks into the bread, you just kind of like eat your way down. Mmm. Really good. It's just really good. It's fun to eat, guys. I mean, how often do you sit there and just like, oh, hot. Chow down with your fingers. Yeah, it's delicious. I would definitely take the heat up. This is mild, which is fine. But with the, ooh. Tomorrow, I'm going to put the leftovers on the stove and spice it up. It's also an incredible amount of food. Now, see, you can see how you can just like, you can go into a restaurant and just walk out with this, right? Eat it. And this is the ultimate like, after bar food, right? Mmm. I haven't hit any of the whole spices yet. This is just really good. It's fun. I think this is a win. I'm very happy with it. I like the color. It's vibrant. It's easy to make. Oh, I don't have any left. But if you had the spice mix on hand, you could make this. Just heat up some ghee, oil, throw in your ground spices, onions, potatoes, chicken. Just throw it all in once. Lamb, you got a meal. You do need a loaf of bread though. All right, guys. I'm here for a couple of minutes for questions. Onions are really good. Anybody have any questions, comments, things they want to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace. So good. Yes. Thanks, Paul. It's a lot of food. It's supposed to be a big serving. All right, guys. I know we went a little over time. Well, we don't have a time limit. I never said this was going to be an hour. Thanks for coming out. As always, love doing this for you guys. And, well, I don't know. Like, any Italian meal starts with bread. Anyway, always fun. Next week, Korean street food. At least one dish, maybe two. And I'll see everybody then. Thanks for coming out, guys.